Alright, I've got my Buick in the shop. This is a Park Avenue 1991. Anyway, the headliner has fallen down a couple times. I've tried to spray lubricant, or spray adhesive, I mean, and it just keeps coming down. And it's such a pretty car that that's like a bad haircut on a hot chick, and that's not cool. So anyway, the point is that I've got this all apart, and it's a little more than I wanted to get involved with, but with the Park Avenue there's a million features that are kind of unnecessary, but it's a ride, nice riding car. So anyway, I want to get it fixed up, and yeah, it's actually held up in the middle with Velcro, which is handy, but blah blah blah. I've got some black fabric I'm going to do with, and while I was taking it apart, these in the back corner little trim pieces, each time you touch it, it leaves a mark. So the foam is like totally deteriorated. And I got one of them shredded from the fabric. I gotta replace one of these things, glue it back on. But anyway, I'm gonna scrape all that off and hopefully do it up with the black. See what she looks like. Wish me luck. Okay, I've peeled back all the fabric off of here, and I was trying to just peel away the foam, but what started happening is this little plastic barrier between the insulation started getting all chunked up, and I just decided to go right down to the bare insulation, which there probably should be some sort of vapor barrier or foam or something between, but all I have is fabric and spray adhesive, so I'm going to give it a go. This stuff was a pain, and actually in some places it's still on there. This is like the worst of it, but I've tried to, well, of course I had gloves on before, but tried to roll this stuff up, and then this is like peeling a really bad sunburn, like the whole thing, which is no fun, dude. Yeah, it sucks. But I think this is about as far as I'm going to go with it, and start putting the adhesive to it. Alright, I have started spraying the adhesive, spray can stuff there, good tacky bond. Actually, read the back of those, because some of them say not intended for headliners, but happen to be stronger than the ones that are. Anyway, so I've only sprayed this far because I want to be able to roll that up a little bit for the front. The back part I hope is going to be kind of easy. I can just stand here and do. But once we get to these, which I already have spray glued those, I just left the fabric unglued so far so that I can work with it and hopefully have a little more work time right there. So anyway, yeah, the plan is and then working it. Alright, so I have sprayed the adhesive, let it set up a little bit, and applied while quote unquote it was aggressively tacky. So I kind of misinterpreted that at first, but anyway, I get it now. The point is that I have done the other stuff. The insulation is showing through the crinkles, but it's kind of a neat texture, I guess. At least it's like over the whole thing. It'd be worse if it was in just like one spot. But I've worked these contours in as best I can. Of course, I have a wrinkle right there, but it's nothing I can do about it now. Anyway, so I'm working it around all the contours as best I can. And it says it'll be done in an hour. I'm going to leave it probably for longer than that before I flip it over and tighten everything on the back side. So there it is. Yeah, I'm going to cut all the holes and stuff for everything later. So these are the rear corners. This is what it was looking like with the, you could scratch that stuff. Of course, after I peeled the fabric, this is the one that I've rubbed it all around off of there with my handy dandy gloves. And I'm going to do that to this one. And do the spray adhesive to these. Cut, sprayed, ready to adhere. Alrighty, so I've flipped it over, trimmed off the excess, sprayed and adhered the edges on the headliner. And I started to cut these small openings for the handles. And then I realized It might be better to let that stuff set up overnight, and then tomorrow when I put the trim pieces and stuff on, it's not really going to matter if that's not... It's more important, I think, for it to stay taut. Anyway, this one I had to do because I'm going to have to assemble that lamp module thing before it goes back in, but anyway, and I also got over to these, trimmed those, and this is what they look like completed. There's a little bit of scuffing going on, but hopefully that'll be tucked away. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like car interior. Alright, let's get a look at the finished product. Bit of figure out. There's only one piece that's still broken. Unfortunately, there's always something. But this is the finished product here. Those pieces. Looks pretty sharp. Huh? Too shabby.